I have a very few minutes to conclude series number 3 that I started last week. And last week we began to look at series number 3, looking at from blessing to enlargement, unleashing the power of increase. It is one thing to be blessed, it is another thing for that blessing to increase. So when we talk about enlargement, we are talking about increase. And I went through a few points. My very first point last week was your perception is your reality. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. That's already recorded for us in the video, and then we can revisit that. And because of our time as well. But I want to go to point number 2. As we are looking at series number 3, remember the prayer of Jabez, that you will bless me indeed and enlarge my coast. So we are looking at each of those prayer points as a teachable moment. What can we learn from the prayer of Jabez? It's never stale or it's never outdated. I told you when the book was written, 2 years into the publication of that book, there were 90 million copies sold, and preachers after preachers have preached that. But it's time now for us to look at what are the fundamental principles that we can identify in the prayer of Jabez. So we look at blessing, and I told you what blessing is in the eyes of God. So now we're looking at from blessing to enlargement. It was not enough for Jabez to say, bless me indeed. He was also asking for an enlargement. And last week I looked at the first point. I said, your perception is your reality. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. The future you want to enter into is first of all perceived today. And the way you live, what you are living today, was what you perceived sometime in the past. Point number 2, as we look at this series number 3. Activity is not the same as productivity. Activity is not the same as productivity. You can be very, very active and yet not productive. Many of us, if you don't remember the cartwheel, if you don't know what it is, I believe we all can relate to what we talk of the treadmill. Is it treadmill? The treadmill, they come in different sizes, different shapes now. You can be on your treadmill and you can set, and it will tell you how the pace you are going, at how many miles per hour you are doing. It will tell you the distance you have covered. But even though there's movement, and you can actually see that you are burning calories, and you can see that you are moving at a certain speed, you are still, that person is still in the same spot. Yes. And yet you are sweating. You can see that you have experienced some energy there. So activity is not the same as productivity. And I gave us a good example last week. I said, the story of Esau and Jacob exemplified for us what it means to have a blessing and yet lose that blessing. And it also exemplified for us to perceive something that is in distance and claim it today. You can buy the future or you can sell the future. Esau sold the future, Jacob bought the future. Now the Bible says about this brother Esau, Genesis 25:27. So the boys grew, and Esau was a skillful hunter. Listen to that. That's a very important adjective. He was a skillful hunter, not a mediocre hunter. He knows his game. He knows what he's doing. The Bible refers to Esau as a skillful hunter, a man of the field. He knows the streets. There's a slogan that says he's a street boy, he's a street girl. In other words, they know everything they have there. But Jacob was what? A mighty man dwelling in tents. And then when you look at them, the Bible talks about Esau. When you saw Esau at work, you will think nothing less of a hard-working man. He must be so skillful for him to be referred to and qualified as a skillful hunter. A man of the field. His physique is very muscular, he's strong, he's well-built. He relies on his physical strength. He will chase the animal. He knows how to shoot the arrow without missing. He uses physical strength to produce. He will chase after the animal, and whatever animal comes across Esau, their life has ended. You can trust Esau as a skillful hunter to take them down. But look at a married man. The Bible says one is a field man, the other one is a tent man, dwelling in tent. So Esau, Jacob dwells in tents, always desiring to go, and he relies on. He doesn't have the skill, the energy, the build that we see with Esau. But what he lacks in the physical, in his ability to chase, in his physical build, he made for with his mentor. That's why he could perceive. That's why Esau. Why would he ask for the birthright of all things in exchange for the plate of stew? So you can imagine, even though he's a married man, he's also a very smart guy. Say, give me your birthright. I will give you my food. If he wasn't so smart of all the things, he would have asked, okay, I'm going to give you a stew. It cost me a goat to kill that stew, to make that stew. I'm going to take 2 goats instead, or 3 goats, whenever you go to the field. But he asked for something that is in the future, because his mental capacity can see what Esau did not see. He relies on mental skills. He's refined. He's a mind man. He uses ideas to produce. He does not use the physical strength to produce. So, for example, you give Isaac, you've had this before, you give Jacob a goat, he will look for, if there's a male, he will look for a female goat. And he will wait until that time when he has a male and a female, and begin to, because he's a mild man, the Bible says he dwells in tent, he has created a garden in the background, so that he can put his goat there, and they are really there, is producing more, is multiplying more, from 1 to 2, from 2 to 4, just like the parable that we read in Matthew chapter 25. Now listen to this. The time for increase comes in Genesis 27, 1 to 10. The Bible says, when Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, his older son, and said to him, my son. And he said, here I am, a handsome. Isaac said, Genesis 27 verse 2 now, I say, I am now an old man, and I don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your equipment, your quiver, and your bow. Remember, it's a skillful hunter. And go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like, and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die. What the father did not know was there was already a transaction that had taken place on the plate of food. And now the Bible says Esau did what only he knew to do. He went back to the field. And Rebekah was listening, and he told Jacob, this is what I heard. Now this guy, he's not so smart. He want to go to the field. He has gone to the field. He's probably going to take him an hour or 2. Before he comes, you already are rearing in the backyard. You have a lot of, you can go, you can point to, and you don't need to go to the field because there's so much behind that you have reared over time. Just take one, and I will put the ingredients together and we'll give it to your dad. And Esau, Jacob, prepared the meal. Even though the father was suspicious in the beginning, because of our time, you know the rest of the story. As soon as he had finished eating, Esau came with his game. It was already too late. This is the problem. Like I said, activity is not productivity. Esau was very active. was blessed with skills to kill, to hunt, but yet he was not equal. Whatever animal is of God has a one lifetime. Kill, choose, and kill. But when you contrast that with Jacob, whatever animals Jacob has an unlimited lifetime because they keep reproducing. The principle of growth. And I've shared this before. There are Esau nations. There are Jacob nations. If you think like Esau, whenever you need everything, you always go to the field. That's why many people, at some point in their life, you begin to wonder, what did they do? What did they do with their youth? Where did all the money go? I was reading on Facebook not too long ago, on the social media, how Nigeria and Nollywood, they're always asking for money when they're sick, and people are questioning, where does all the money go? This is what I'm talking about. As you have Esau nations, you are Esau people, there are also Esau nations. Whatever they get, they kill. And you have other nations, even what they have, they produce over and over and over again. And now let me talk to my country, Nigeria. Esau people, they have so much, and the much they have, they sell the future. Esau people, what they have, they use what they have to sell their future. Jacob nation and Jacob people, they use what they have to buy the future. Like I said the other day, stew is in the present. Birthright is in the future. Food still can be seen, birthright cannot be seen. Food can be eaten today, birthright will cook tomorrow. Esau says, I want your today. Jacob says, I want your tomorrow. Esau says, give me what you have now. Jacob says, give me what you will become tomorrow. He had the blessing that I told you, the physical advantages, the spiritual advantages, and he said, I am about to die. Of what use is the birthright. And the Bible says, and so Esau despised. Now let's come to Esau nations. We're talking about Nigeria this morning. That a bag of rice has become 70,000 naira. You buy a liter of oil, of gasoline, or you say gasoline or oil, for 1,000 naira. And this is an oil-producing nation where we are seen to be active. When you go to the Niger Delta area or some places you see pockets of and oils and drilling equipment all over the place. And yet there's even that which we have, we kill. The Bible says, a lazy man does not roast what he takes in nothing. In other words, how do you increase what you have so that it can produce more for you? But what we have, we kill. Even the oil that we have, we can't even refine our own oil. We have to send it overseas, and then now we buy back not only a refined oil, then all the things that would have been the petrochemicals and all other things, other things that would have been part of that refinery process, we buy them back, fertilizer and the rest of them. Africa, I was looking at my research this other day, a couple of days ago, looking at the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. Africa is rich in natural resources, ranging from arable land, water, oil, and natural gas. Africa is home to some 30% of the world's mineral reserves, 8% of the world's natural gas, and 12% of the world's oil reserve. The continent has 40% of the world's gold, and up to 90% of its chromium and platinum. And there's not a single country in Africa that you can say this is the result. And yet we are very active. When you see our drilling guys, when you see our farmers, when you see everybody, they are all active. Activity is not the same as productivity. You go to Nigeria, there are over 36 natural resources that with no less than 10 in each state. We focus on one thing, on oil, and that oil, we kill it. Congo Zaire, the world's largest exporter of industrial diamonds and cobalts. Ghana used to be called Gold Coast. Ghana does not have gold now. All the gold is in the UK. You go to the Buckingham Palace, everything is gold. You go to the seat of government in Ghana, there's no gold. How come? UK produces coal. Coal is black, gold is yellow. How come the one with gold has no gold and the one without gold has gold? Every African nation, that which we have, we kill. And we are called OPEC nations. You go to Saudi Arabia, go to UAE, United Arab Emirates, you see what, and these are deserts. You see what petrodollar can do. I was reading the other day, just last week, 360 legislators, senators, and reps combined, they are buying SUVs at $150,000.